Hello, I'm Beth Joey and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. This is the channel where I paint my face, turn my camera on, and talk about some books. So we are in the new flat. Welcome! This is the only clean sort of space in this entire flat right now because we are still unpacking. There have been some issues here in getting some coat hangers for the wardrobe so that we can actually unpack all of our clothes. The usual unpacking stuff of just figuring out spacing and the new configuration of the kitchen and the lounge area, figuring out what storage we need. It's been a whole thing. So I'm currently still living out of boxes at the moment, but we are getting there. We've got some blinds arriving on Sunday. We've got our first grocery shop arriving today. So this flat is looking shit right now, but once it's all pretty, I might do a little tour later on because I am really quite happy with it. It's really pretty. It's really cute. The wall needs a bit of a repaint and the couch needs to be replaced, but we are getting there. But anyway, you guys don't care about all of that stuff. You probably want to know a little more about what is down in the title of this video down below, which is Whateverthon. Whateverthon is a month-long readathon hosted by Maddie at Book Browsing Blog. I will leave her announcement video down below. It covers everything you could possibly need to know about this readathon. It is so fun so far. We are a couple of days in. It is the 3rd of June, so I am starting this weekly reading vlog for Whateverthon a couple of days late because of all the moving crap at the moment. So it's been taking me a couple of days to get everything sorted and get things ready for you guys so that I can actually do this. But before I jump into my first reading update, I wanted to take you guys through some of the prep that I've been doing for Whateverthon because I have this whole month planned to a T, and you will see just how ridiculously like OCD level organized I am once you see this. So first we have the schedule for each bingo board, which is basically me writing down on an A3 piece of paper exactly how many pages I want to reach per day per book. At the moment I am already behind because I'd written in here that I wanted to do 180 pages on the 1st of June, 180 pages on the 2nd of June, and 24 pages of this book on the 3rd of June, but I am only like 80 pages into the book and it's the 3rd of June. So the first book I'm going to take you through in terms of what I've been thinking about it so far is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, and you can see the little picture there, but this is probably a better view of the book. It is a beautiful purple book, so you can already probably guess that it is going to apply to the purple cover prompt in the bingo board. I am 85 pages into this book so far and I am absolutely loving it. I am having so much fun with this book, but first let me tell you what it's about. So Delilah Green Doesn't Care follows Delilah Green, as you would guess, who swore she would never go back to her hometown of Bright Falls. She is living in New York. She is living as a photographer. She's finding her successes starting to come more frequently. She's got a different woman every night, but that's totally fine with her. Apologies for the sort of squeaking noise you can hear in the background. There's like a truck driver pulling up. One day her estranged stepsister, which is really hard to say, reaches out to her and invites her along to photograph her wedding. And Delilah Green honestly only takes the job because she knows she's going to get paid some decent money for it and she needs it. So she returns to Bright Falls where she bumps into one of her sister's best friends, Claire Sutherland, who, let's be honest, didn't treat her all that well when they were kids. Delilah Green decides that it might be a bit of fun if she messes with Claire a little bit and maybe there's a little retribution to be had after all. Anyway, it's super funny so far, super bantery. Delilah is just so snippy and snarky in like the best way. She's so sassy, she doesn't take any shit, her family doesn't treat her well, so she's like, you know what, I'm gonna throw a spanner into the works and I'm gonna make this whole thing more difficult for you guys. And I kind of love that because if someone doesn't treat you right, then you have every right, I think, to go and like throw a spanner in the works every now and then. The attraction between Claire and Delilah is very clear off the get-go. You can tell that they're both attracted to each other. You can tell that there's a lot of things about each other that would work, but I think I'm already kind of guessing what the sort of third act conflict is going to be, and I'm not going to say it now because obviously that's a massive spoiler, and also I don't want to be embarrassed if I'm wrong, but it's got these little hints of foreshadowing throughout the first few pages of the book where I'm kind of like, oh, I feel like that's going to be a problem later on. I like the hints that Astrid and Delilah really could be friends if they just sort of tried to give each other a chance and get to know each other a bit more, and if they weren't so separated by the fact that they were stepsisters, if they didn't let that get in the way, you can see those little moments where they're bonding and they actually have a relationship. But anyway, I am absolutely loving this book so far. I am planning to smash it out today so that I can jumpstart into A Marvelous Light by Freya Marske, which is my next book, and hopefully get a decent chunk of that done today as well. Before we go into some b-roll of me reading or whatever I choose to put here in terms of b-roll, I just want to show you the last sort of planning thing that I made for this readathon, which is my version of the bingo board. Now, as for my plans for the rest of the day, I'm just going to read and read some more. I'm going to drop into Cutty Sark very quickly, which is like right next to Greenwich, just this beautiful area right on the river, because I need to do a little bit of shopping, a little bit of life shopping. I need to go to the Body Shop, I need to go to Boots, I need to get some like makeup because I'm running out, but I will take you guys along with me for all of that. My might even pop into Waterstones because it is right there and they've got half price sales on at the moment because of the Jubilee, so may as well make the most of it. But as for right now, I'm going to get stuck into my book and I will update you when I have an update. Morning. It is Saturday. I forgot to film any additional updates yesterday because I went out, did all my errands, did everything I needed to do in Greenwich, mooched around, went to a pub, all those fun things. Came back home, immediately started reading Delilah Green Doesn't Care and could not put the book down for the life of me. I loved this book. I give it 4 stars and I'm going to tell you all about it. I think I've already told you what this book is about. So in terms of my review and my thoughts on it, it was just, I loved it. I read this book so fast and I genuinely could not put it down once I started. Like, it kept pushing me to keep reading and I wanted to know what was going to happen next all the time. It was just, it kept me hooked so much. There were a couple things I didn't love. So there was this sort of bet plot line running through the book, which, you know, I'm never a fan of those sort of manipulative lying starts to a relationship. And I think that there were way too many characters' names to remember, and a lot of the names were similar as well. So at the start of the book I was getting very confused between the different characters. But on the flip side, I loved how fleshed out our main characters Delilah and Claire were, and I loved how fleshed out even some of the supporting characters were in terms of the difficulties that they were facing in their life. Like, we got a really interesting insight into Iris and her relationship with her husband, I think he is, Grant, and then Astrid's relationship with her mother, Ruby's relationship growing up like as a preteen with a single mother and an absentee father. Like, some of those supporting characters did get a lot of time being fleshed out a lot more, so it makes me hope that we're gonna get standalone books for each of those characters, for each of those friends as well, which I think would be really interesting. There was also just a really beautiful found family element of the story as well, which was just so heartwarming. And then the mother-daughter plotline between Ruby and Claire felt really genuine rather than staged, because I think sometimes there's like a sort of single mother plotline thrown into some of these romance books that just feels a bit inauthentic. It feels a bit staged. It feels like it's there to just move the plot along, whereas this really was like, being a mum is hard and being a mum to a preteen is even harder. Of course, the mutual pining between Delilah and Claire was fab, and then when that tension finally broke, oh my god, it was swoon worthy. I loved their relationship. I loved the banter between them. I love that they were able to like read each other and open each other up so easily. It's like they knew each other before they even knew each other. I honestly swooned when reading this book, so I'm going to be keeping a very close eye out for Astrid's book, which I think is the next one in this series. So yeah, loved it, 4 stars. Whilst I didn't read the book on the days I was sort of supposed to read, or you know, I didn't read as many pages as I was supposed to read on certain days, I have finished the book, so I have highlighted just up there these sections of the book saying that I've completed them. And as you'll see, next up we've got A Marvelous Light here by Freya Marske, which I'll tell you about in a second. But quickly, I want to run you through how my sort of DIY bingo board is looking at the moment. This is the bingo board at the moment, so you'll see we've got recently hauled, favorite genre, and purple cover, which I selected as the prompts that I was going to go for this book. You'll also see that I've highlighted complete a personal goal, and for me, my personal goal yesterday was to completely unpack my entire wardrobe, and I got that done yesterday, so that is why I have checked off complete a personal goal. You'll also see that I've checked off cozy reading time here, because that was my entire day yesterday. I sat on the couch with a can of beer and a blanket over my lap and a pillow, and I read, and it was just so cozy and so lovely, so I checked that one off. And lastly, you'll see that I've highlighted join sprints here, and this is just because when Maddie hosted her Whateverthon kickoff sprints, I attended those for a little bit, so I've highlighted that because that's something I've done recently. That's what the bingo board is looking like at the moment. But now for the next book, which I'm going to be reading, we've got A Marvelous Light by Freya Marske. This is the Illumicrate edition, so it's got a beautiful shiny cover. As for what the book's actually about, I'm just going to read you the blurb because I don't know a ton about this book. I did start it last night and I am like 20 pages in, but that doesn't really tell you enough to say that I know what it's about. So it says, young Baronet Robin Blythe was already in a spot of bother. He's struggling to be a decent older brother and a responsible employer, and to rescue the estate ravaged by his late parents' excesses. Then an administrative mistake appoints him parliamentary liaison to a secret society, and he discovers magic lies beneath the reality he's always known. Soon Robin must contend with magic's dangers as well as its beauty, for as he tries to find his missing predecessor, he attracts a deadly curse. To navigate these hazards, he'll need the help of Edwin Corsi, his prickly magical society counterpart, but his aloof associate clearly wishes Robin were anyone and anywhere else. Drawn together by unexpected perils, Robin and Edwin will discover a mystery as old as the power that binds the land, a plot that threatens every magician in the British Isles, and a secret that some have already died to keep. So this sounds absolutely fascinating. I will say I've read about 20 pages so far, and I do have a small issue, which was that Robin accepted the whole fact that there is magic in the world very, very quickly and easily, and I was kind of like, if someone came up to me with a pen that like wrote itself and like I didn't need to be held to like write things down, I would freak out. I wouldn't be like, okay, yeah, magic, sounds good. I would freak out. Like that seemed way too easy for me, but we'll see how the rest of the story goes. That is my reading update. As for my life update, I'm going back into Canary Wharf today to pick up a parcel from my old flat. It got delivered there like right after I moved out, and I think it is a book parcel, so we might be doing a little bit of a book unboxing later on in this video. And then I also have to go to my real estate agent's office to pick up the second set of keys for the flat, because at the moment Ben and I have like been trapped in the flat where we can't go anywhere unless we go there together, because we only have one set of keys, or if he goes out I can't like leave the flat because I don't have a second set of keys where I can let myself back in, or vice versa. So we're going to pick up those second set of keys and hopefully get some of our utilities and things organized as well. So it's a lot of life admin at the moment, but we are getting there. We are sorting it out. If I do anything fun and interesting, I will of course take you guys along with me. But yeah, I will see you in my next update. Morning, it is Sunday, and again I forgot to film all of yesterday, but on the plus side, the flat is slowly coming together. Boxes are getting thrown in the bin. My bookshelf is still an absolute mess. I will give you guys a tour of how that looks at the moment later so that you guys can just see how chaotic and hectic that entire space in the room is. And I also just didn't get a ton of reading done yesterday, so I didn't really see the point in giving you guys another update because I was only another like 60 or so pages into the book and nothing much had really happened yet. But this morning's update of A Marvelous Light by Freya Marske is incredibly different. I am now 182 pages into the book and I am enjoying it so far, I won't lie. I'm struggling to see what the point of the book is at this point, just because the general plot that we're following, or the general challenge that we're following, is just this one guy has been cursed and they're trying to break the curse. And from the blurb at least, it made it sound like it was broader, like there was some big secret that everyone was trying to hide. And so far we've only gotten real like tiny hints into what that secret might be. So there's not a ton going on in terms of the plot, but there's a ton going on in terms of character building. But yeah, I'm a plot person, so I really love a good plot, so it's kind of difficult to read at times. I'm kind of tuning out a little bit, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm liking the relationship between Edwin and Robin. The banter is great, but yeah, anyway. So my plan for today is definitely to finish that book, but first Ben and I are going to head to Cutty Sark. There's a lovely market there right near Greenwich. They have the most amazing crepes. They have all these different food stands where you can get food from like all over the world. Like there's the crepes, there's jerk chicken, there's like this sausage stand. It is amazing food. So we're gonna head there and just meander around, relax, you know, eat some food, have some coffee, and then I'm probably gonna come back here and keep reading. So I'll take you guys along with me and yeah, we'll enjoy the day. We are in a new location and I won't lie, I'm still working out the lighting in here, so it's a little bit strange. The natural lighting is very bright, and as you can see, the wallpaper behind me is not pretty. It's like this black and white stripy wallpaper. I'm not in love with it. And then that's my bookshelf there with like just the mess and the chaos that is that bookshelf. So we're just gonna forget about everything behind me. We're gonna forget about the lighting and we are going to close up this vlog. So it is Monday and I have just finished reading A Marvelous Light by Freya Marske, which I gave 3 stars. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but there were a few issues throughout the book that I had, and I will go into those now. A Marvelous Light definitely had what I like to call first book syndrome, which is it goes really, really heavy on the character building, the magic building, the technical language, all that sort of thing, but then unfortunately the plot kind of falls to the wayside as a result because they're just trying to set up everything for the rest of the series. Whilst I think the process behind lifting Robin's curse, which sort of led the book for at least more than half of it, was important, I don't think it needed as much time dedicated to it as it eventually got in the book, especially because the blurb does allude to this broader magical power that people are dying to protect, and that just isn't the curse. And so you get a ton of time with something that just isn't relevant, I think, to the overall plot of the book, or isn't relevant to the overall plot of the series, I should say, and also is completely like disconnected from what the blurb tells you you're going to get in this book. So moving on from like the plot side of things, I would have liked a little bit more time doing a bit of magic building, just because there was a lot of technical language used about the way the magic system worked. It's sort of like a contractual system where you agree a contract between two parties, and that's sort of how the magic is created. And there was a lot of technical language around that I just wasn't understanding throughout the book, so I was just kind of glazing over when it came to those sort of pivotal fight scenes, and I felt that was really like a missed opportunity, just because those scenes in those moments are supposed to feel really high stakes, but they just didn't feel high stakes for me because I didn't understand what was going on. But on the characters, they were very, very well built out. I loved Robin and I loved Edwin and I loved their relationship, the banter, everything like that between those two characters. I hated Edwin's family, which you're definitely supposed to feel, and I loved Robin's sister, which again, you're definitely supposed to feel by the end of this book. I really did not expect the very, very graphic scenes between Robin and Edwin and just how many there were and how late one of them appeared in the book, like right at the very, very end. So it was definitely heavy on the fantasy romance, which I'm not against at all. But yeah, this got a 3 stars from me, and it is the last book of this vlog. Moving on to my two little sort of spreadsheets organization side of things, this is what we are looking like now in terms of the sort of first half of the month, or the first bingo board. This is the progress that we've made. It is actually the 6th of June today, which means I should be highlighting this box today, but as you can see, I haven't actually started this 3rd book, which is The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson, so we are a little bit behind schedule. But in terms of the bingo board, we are actually sort of ahead of schedule in this way, in that we've got 3 almost bingos going right here. So in terms of what I have highlighted since reading A Marvelous Light, we've got the and of and space, we've got on a previous TBR, and we've got hybrid genre because it's a fantasy romance. I've also highlighted guilt-free activity right here because I started and finished watching the most recent Fantastic Beasts movie, which was just an activity that I wanted to do just to relax, just to chill, and yeah, so I counted that as a guilt-free activity. So yeah, we are the first week into Whateverthon, and we've got 3 almost bingos kind of going at the moment. So hopefully in the 2nd week, we'll be able to get at least 2 of those bingos completely sorted, especially because the 48-hour readathon is actually happening this coming weekend, which means hopefully I'll be able to smash out a ton of reading this coming weekend. But anyway, that is the end of this vlog. Let me know how your first week of Whateverthon went. Let me know if you are now planning to join, seeing how much fun it is. Comment down below your thoughts on this video, on the books that I read, if you read them before, loved them, hated them, if you think there's anything I missed in either of these books that might change my mind about them. I do my best to reply to every single comment. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell all down below to be notified when I release a new video. It is a very, very easy way to help your girl out and help my channel grow. And I will see you lovely people in my next video. Bye!